What's good, everybody? Episode 21, Swishes, Hits, and Kicks. I am the host, Richard Carrion, and today we're going to get into some things, man. But first off, damn, I look good. Shoot. I need to start telling my wife, like, girl, you done lucked out in life. Now, I know I tell her all the time, like, damn, girl, you know, I lucked out. I lucked out getting her, but shoot, I'm gonna have to give myself some pats on the back right now. Like, look at me. This is a fresh out the shower, fresh out the box. We stopping, we looking and watch. Better yet, I think I'm set. Because I know I'm all that. But anyways, back to the show. What's good? You know, what's happening, everybody? It's a nice summer day. A few days out from turning 34, you know, I'm aging like fine wine, you know, as I say. We in this nice summer, you know, the heat is killing us. Well, not me, but it's killing some of us, right? You know, easy thing to do is if you don't have to go outside, then don't go. But anyways, yeah, it's, you know, things are popping, things are moving, things are going great. Episode 21 right here. I'm going to hopefully get this out by this evening. Yeah. Let's see. What are we talking about today? Today, I'm going to be honest, today is a strictly pro wrestling episode. So if this ain't for you, go check out one of the other episodes. Go check out something else. But that's what this strictly is today. And we getting into some WWE talk, some AEW talk, just in general, right? And we got to start off with the top. And, you know, some people are going to hate this, but it's the facts. We're going to talk about WWE first, right? Because they are the leader in the pro wrestling industry. And, excuse me, coming out of Money in the Bank, you know, we had a Money in the Bank winner and loser at the same time. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, that whole program just got it moved further, right? We moved that one along, and we also added back in, you could say, Seth Rollins, right? Seth Rollins got added back into that program. Obviously, I think on August 3rd, SummerSlam 2024. I believe it's in Cleveland, Ohio. I don't think it's going to be a three-way. A lot of people deem that there could be a three-way between you know, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk. But I don't see it that way. I could see, I honestly, if they did it smart, they would do Seth as like a special guest referee. Have Seth be like a special guest referee, and we go SummerSlam 97 style when it was Taker versus Brett and Shawn Michaels is the referee. I think that'd be good. And then I don't want to say he cost Punk the match, but he is the reason maybe Punk loses the match to Drew. That'd be something that'd be really fun. Besides that, coming out of Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton won the women's Money in the Bank. I think most people called that her Chelsea Green, right? Chelsea Green took the cool fall off the ladder, but Tiffany Stratton's got the rocket attached to her. Yeah, it's just, you know, she's going to eventually be the champion. I see, I'm forecasting, putting it out there at WrestleMania 41, Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair. What else do we have to talk about? Excuse me. Damian Priest, which I thought, you know, Judgment Day was going to implode and maybe fight it out at SummerSlam, but it doesn't look like that. He's got to face Gunther, and I think King Gunther is going to win. The King General is going to win. Gunther's going to be champion heading into the Bash of Berlin in Germany, where he's probably going to get an insane ovation in home country. Let's see, what else besides that? Bloodline storyline, I guess you could say, is moving forward. Solo Sikoa got the pin on Cody Rhodes. Looks like we're getting that at SummerSlam. Most people aren't happy about it. Truth be told, like, Cody hasn't had nothing like crazy to sink his teeth into since WrestleMania. I feel like this happens a lot, but I feel like it's this is insider talk here. It's like a good guy thing. Like, most good guys don't have a big story after they've conquered something. The fun part in watching I guess you say a baby face or a good guy wrestler, The fun part is the chase, right? The watching them go to get this goal or belt, right? Whatever title. And with Cody, it was to watch him finish the story, right? To finish that chapter. And now it's, he has to make up a whole nother story, and he hasn't really had nothing to sink his teeth into. I actually think he's kind of just a pawn maybe in this. I don't think we get a Cody like longevity story until, for another prediction, he goes against either Randy Orton or John Cena, who we'll talk about here in a little bit. But this bloodline story, with Solo taking over, calling himself new head of the table, new tribal chief, taking out Paul Heyman, pinning Cody, which Roman wasn't able to do at WrestleMania. I could see them having a match. I don't know if Roman costs him the match, but I think Roman comes back at SummerSlam and they do a little something. The crowd's going to go crazy. That's what I see happening. But WWE, man, WWE's firing on all cylinders, there's a guy, though, who I'm like, I don't really know what they do with him. He's just so popular. And he always loses in big matches, though, is Jey Uso, main event Jey. And I feel like he's just, I don't want to say he's floundering, but he's just treading water until it's his time to jump back in that Bloodline storyline, which I don't know how they're going to do it based off of Raw and SmackDown, supposedly, right? It's supposed to be separate, but obviously it's not that separate. That's something that I'm really curious to see because he's like one of the top merchandise guys. So I don't know. You got to do something with him. WWE just signed a big star from CMLL. She also wrestled in New Japan, Stephanie Vaquer, which is actually really funny because she just had a big match against Sasha Banks on AEW's Forbidden Door. And most people were like, oh, man, she did amazing, right? She did really good. And most people assumed that AEW would sign her. But instead, she went to wrestle with WWE. I don't even know, who knows yet who put up more money. But I think sometimes with like these little, I guess, wars of who's going to sign with who, a lot of times I think we forget that WWE is global. And they've been around, obviously, a lot longer. So with them being so global and being around a lot longer, they have a bigger legacy, a bigger name. I assume when Stephanie was a kid, AEW one wasn't around. And she always, if she dreamed to be a wrestler, it was to be in WWE probably. And when the time came, would you pass up your dream or would you want to go wrestle something you've already done? Technically, she already did in AEW. Like, she did a couple of them, right? A couple shows. She wrestled on pay-per-view. One of the better matches on pay-per-view. But I'm not surprised she signed with them. Some people are probably going to be, salty about that, but it kind of is what it is, right? Like, she wants to go a place she's always dreamed of going. Whether she has a good or bad experience, we'll all find out in the next couple of years, right? And NXT, which is probably where she's heading. Shout outs to All Ego Ethan Page, man. I'm a big fan of Ethan Page. I've been following him on his YouTube vlogs for years now. Seen him go from a chubbier Ethan Page to a lean, mean, tightest tits in the game Ethan Page, watching all those COVID, pandemic workouts he was doing. And it's awesome. He's like only been, I believe, in WWE for like 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, 2 months. He's already the NXT champion. So it's been really cool to see. NXT's on a roll. The crossover they're doing with TNA Impact, just TNA Wrestling, is great for both parties, benefits both. Wrestling fans are digging it. My buddy Marcus was telling me how cool it is, because he sees like TNA has really good wrestlers and they work with these young talents. So it's really cool. WWE's fun right now. Some people are like, oh, some of the storylines are dead, or oh, this is the biggest thing, but it's always entertaining. It's always something good to watch. There's always a story to follow. Then we move on to AEW. And AEW, they had Forbidden Door, and I think I remember saying I was going to cover after Forbidden Door. But I didn't. And to be honest with you, take a drink. Got that sparkling water. Winco branded because I'm not too bougie for a store brand. Especially when it's an amazing flavor. What flavor, you ask? Peaches and cream. Peaches and cream. Oh, yeah, no, I'm a feet. That's right. You are so tasty. Tasty. Oh. 112. And it ain't 112 yet, but you know what time it is. Yeah. Talking Forbidden Door. Honestly, there wasn't a ton to talk about. Main event was cool. But there wasn't a ton of stories on the show. I'll be quite frankly, like, there wasn't a ton of stories. Some of the matches, truthfully, weren't that great. I didn't like them. You don't have to be a fan of everything. You can be honest about your opinion. So I didn't want to come on here and talk about it and just kind of like be super negative about it, because you can listen to a ton of other things do that. But what I will talk about is last night's Dynamite. And obviously now you know when I'm recording this. Last night's Dynamite had the finals for the Owen Hart tournament for both men's and women's. They started off the show hot with the men's final. You had Hangman Adam Page versus Brian Daniels. I almost said Daniel Bryan. With the last outlaw himself, Slapnuts himself, Jeff Jarrett out there. And Brian won. Brian Danielson won. And it makes sense. Like, if his last year of wrestling, he said, was this year, and I assume the last event he's ever going to do is All In. Ever do for now. Pro wrestlers don't really retire. Man, like, what a cool way. Like, what a cool story. Now he's going to go to All In against Swerve, and I'm actually really happy. I think All In's August 25th. I'm really happy with the way this is going, because you have the story of this is his last ride. This is his last chance. He's never been AEW World Champion to do this. But also, too, like, you're helping elevate Swerve Strickland into even bigger. Making Swerve beat Ospreay was so smart, because, most people assume, like, Ospreay was going to win, or he's going to win at All In. And I was one of those, even though I didn't want him to. I like Swerve. Swerve's, like, one of my favorite people in AEW to watch. Entertaining. And now I think you're just going to make a star a bigger star, right? Which will be really cool to watch. And the ending of Dynamite I thought was great. Mariah May, Willow Nightingale, women's tournament final. This was smart too, to have the last year's Owen Hart winner, Willow, end up losing in the finals to Mariah May. And man, this story that they've been, ever since Mariah May came into AEW, this story's been starting with her as Toni Storm's, like, almost like lackey, right? And then she turned on her last night. Man, beat the hell out of her. Blood. These are the times I think when AEW needs to do blood. Like, sometimes they do blood too much. I think they do it too much. Because sometimes, like, they do it to the ad nauseum where it doesn't mean anything. But this meant something. This was a reason to do this, and it was good. It looked great. Beat the hell out of her, and now, like, that match, Toni Storm, Mariah May, huge match. Care about that match, like, so far. I'm gonna make an assumption based off of what we saw at Dynamite. You have Swerve Strickland versus Daniel Bryan, possibly Daniel Bryan's last match ever. Sold. Toni Storm now versus Mariah May, AEW Women's Championship. Long storyline. Sold off that, right? The turn. Mercedes Moné, Britt Baker return, TBS Championship, kind of their women's dream match that they can make there. Sold, right? Sold. So I think, like, based off what they're doing so far, they have a lot of good selling points for what they're doing just right now that we see. We also saw Samoa Joe, kind of looks like he got, like, taken off TV after his match with Jericho. Saw that he's supposed to go do Twisted Metal Season 2. That's cool. Good for him. He's getting older. He needs to start doing those things. But AEW, like, they have some fun stories cooking, right? I'm surprised though at, and you know, with all the good I'm talking about, there is some negative. I feel like they're giving away a huge pay-per-view match next week on TV but I know it's the 250th episode of Dynamite, but man, I feel like, you know, 300 is going to be in like less than a year. You know, that's the bigger thing to celebrate. And they're giving away Will Ospreay versus MJF. You can't just hold off, you know, about a month for the pay-per-view. I think that's a bad move. I guess TV ratings, I don't know. AEW is one of the last. They're one of the last companies in the world that still do pay-per-view. WWE does PLEs on a streaming platform, but who knows? Maybe we're gonna find out that All In isn't on pay-per-view anymore and it's through Max, which that would be really cool on streaming. They probably get more people to watch. So we'll see. We'll see what they got going. I'm assuming too we'll see the Young Bucks versus like the Acclaim. But these are just some things I'm watching. See, AEW has storylines, right? They have storylines now. Do they blow their load early on some of them? Yeah, they do. But some of them, man, they take a really long time. Mariah May, Tony Storm, that's been brewing, right? So it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of things to like in AEW. I am a huge proponent, though, that they don't need to get any more people. Like, I know Ricochet is supposed to come in, and maybe another people who leave other companies, but I feel like they have all the tools. They have all the parts and pieces on the chessboard, whatever analogy you want to use. But they don't need more wrestlers. I think they're doing fine. They say this is where the best wrestle. It's all subjective, right? Just entertain me. That's it. That's all you got to do. Entertain me. And most of the time they do that. Something I did want to touch on, and I didn't say it earlier when I was talking about the companies in, but John Cena is retiring. And that's a trip to me, man. Because the first time I watched John Cena wrestle was in June of 2002. John Cena wrestled Shelton Benjamin in a dark match for a SmackDown taping. It was like around the 4th of July in 2002. I think it aired on the 4th of July. But it was a dark match, which is before the show. Like, there was no cameras. John Cena wrestled Shelton Benjamin, and John Cena did the fake the leg injury and then low blow Shelton to pin him. And he was wearing the old, the weird, like, colors, like, I think it was like purple and yellow. I think he debuted like a month later and did the Ruthless Aggression promo thing, against Kurt Angle. But that's the first time I saw John Cena. I also saw Rey Mysterio that night before, like a week before he debuted. Very surprised. Great. That's the first, actually. That's the first time I went to a pro wrestling event. With my dad and brother. Kind of won these tickets at the Rite Aid. Anyone listen to this and it's from here, yeah. From Yuba City, you had to like get tickets at the Rite Aid. Hella weird. But John Cena said that, and by the way, his retirement, like coming out and talking about it, was kind of clunky because when he announced it at first, he assumed that he's just retiring altogether based off how he worded it. And then he starts talking about the last Royal Rumble, last Elimination Chamber, last WrestleMania. You're like, okay, so WrestleMania is it. And then he goes to the press conference and says, oh, no. That's just the last one because I'll never do another one again. My last match is going to be like in December. Oh, so you're wrestling the entire year. Okay, that's different. My God. I was like, dude, you're taking us on too many roads. But John Cena's retiring. 2025 will be his last year. Very smart move on John Cena's part. Also, I think, he's going to come in, like, what an enticing thing for WWE and Netflix. Your first time on Raw on Netflix, John Cena is probably going to be on most of the episodes. That's really cool. That's really smart. That's a smart thing on John Cena to like get that deal for himself, and WWE to like have that added value. And now like you can almost start planning now on like how is his last year going to look? Who's he going to wrestle? What's he going to do? Honestly, off the top of my head, I think he should go for the 17th World Championship. We've never seen it. I saw Ric Flair win his 16th world title. It was a random WCW show. But it wasn't made special. Now that, like, because Ric Flair is a revered character in pro wrestling, we can make John Cena's last run be really special. And not just like anything. I think, honestly, he should main event night one. Against whoever the world champion is, WWE champion. Truthfully, he should main event against Cody Rhodes. That's the one. He should main event against Cody Rhodes. I would love to see him feud with Gunther. That'd be a good one. Even, and you know what's crazy? He can go against Cody Rhodes, not win it, but then go against Gunther and win it, or someone else and win it, and then lose it like towards the end. Or he can retire as the champion and set up more tournaments. He did say he wants to help. His last year, he wants to help further along WWE. A lot of matchups. If I'm them, I bring in past people too that that can wrestle. It'd be fun to see Matt Cardona there. That'd be all that stuff would be really cool. John Cena's last run, 2025. Honestly, I'm saying it now. I'm trying to go to WrestleMania to see him. That'd be really cool. See him one last time before it's done. A lot of people hate on him, but he is one of the greatest of all time. No one was at the top of WWE for as long as he was. Those are facts. Top of WWE, you could say start from like 2005 until 2014? 13? It's a long time. And did house shows. Long time. Let's see. Stockton Cons this weekend. Here, kind of locally in Northern California, I have Stockton Con. I think I'm going. I'm hoping I meet Sting. Maybe. Sting would be sick. Sting was like one of my favorites of all time. He got me into wrestling as a kid. 3 years old. Saturday night. Vader. Weird. Crazy. I still remember it like it's yesterday. Matt Cardona will be there. I'm a huge fan of Matt Cardona. Shout out to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Figs for life. Scratch that figure itch, baby. Kevin Nash will be there too. Super Shredder. Just kidding. Too sweet me, baby. That's it. This is the end of the show. This is Wrestling Only, episode 21. We're legal to drink, but we're not legal to just talk about anything else because today was just about wrestling. Today was it. It was on. I'm all that. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. Hitting on a yeah. Dropping on them, yeah. Mock with them, yeah. I'm going to get it, yeah. Just kidding. We're going to talk some sports tomorrow. Later.